All right, it looks like we're live. Welcome everybody. I'm doing a live stream because I've been incredibly busy. I haven't made making videos because I'm picking and choosing what to do with my time. In fact, right now I'm supposed to be at the gym working out. Actually, I should have been done a little while ago, but stuff came up. So what do? I had to decide between going to the gym, which I've been doing very good with, or doing a stream because it's been too long since I've even made a video. It's been crazy. So here we go. I don't know if I'll go to the gym later or maybe just do it tomorrow. We'll see. Dan Wardy is here. Says, "Wow, a late night cast." Yeah, I don't know if this is going to go super long, but I want to update you all on some things, talk about some stuff. Why not? Just want to make sure everyone knows that I'm still here. I still exist. So we're gonna do that. In the meantime, though, I should probably share this out as well. Roland's here as well as Dan. Boy? Question mark. Welcome. A few things have been going on. Okay, so I have got pre-press finished almost. What I'm waiting on are 4 pages of color correction on the backup story. That's where we're at. As soon as those are done, then we're done. Essentially, I've gone through the story countless times. It's been edited by 3 separate people. It has been read by readers just for story reasons. Everything. I think we've done everything. So I'm at the point where it's time to release it into the world. So once we get those colors going, then we'll be there. So I've learned a lot about InDesign and all this. And here you go. This is just an example. I don't want to show you too much, but this is, I'm not even, I don't know where the bar is to scroll down. Goodness sake, what is happening here? There it is. Anyway, you get the idea. This whole thing, and I realized that this is actually quite a long book. We could even end here. This is the beginning of the backup story. Spoiler alert, you guys saw everything. There we go. This is the cover for the backup story, which is currently blank because we're working on those pages. Anyway, I did my best. However, I got to say the main story, again, I don't want to spoil things, but the main story I'm very happy with. I think you all are going to like it, especially if you like Downcast 1 and 2. I think you're really going to like it. I'm pretty stoked about it. Let's see. Critical Blast. No comment. Gotta be a Robin Buy stream. Yeah, we could talk about that too. Call yourself Clint the Crusader. That's how Romanians view Dracula and his battle against the Turks. It's true. Yeah, it depends on your perspective. Cover looks similar to Mignola. Totally copied Mignola style on a cover. Even down to the gray bar at the top. I just wanted to see how it would look. That's what it came down to. So I'm not gonna, no lie there. It does not look anywhere near as good as Mike Mignola's stuff, but I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun, so I paid some homage to it. All right, so that's pre-press. We got that out of the way. Few things. Did you all know that I'm being published in this anthology of sorts, Thrilling Comics? When I say anthology, I mean like original anthology, what they used to be, Golden Age. And so I wrote a Silver Streak story. It's pretty cool to have my name alongside Chuck Dixon in this book. He wrote The Cat in Black. I wrote Silver Streak. And my understanding is that this is going to press. It's finished. I've seen all the stories. I've read all the stories. And it's ready to go. So I'm interested to see this thing when it gets printed. That'll be great. So there's Thrilling Comics. Let's see. Downcast. Here we are. I should refresh this. I don't know if that's going to change. So I might. There we go. Yeah, I didn't. I had already just refreshed it, but we're at 43,895, getting close to 44,000. I'll be honest. Once I go in demand, to me, this is I like backers coming in, but it's not a major focus. It's just I just make the book. And it turns out if you just make the book, people will come and back it. You know, a lot of people are waiting last minute. See a link question. This is for Downcast. As far as Thrilling Comics goes, it looks like it's not. I could send you the link, but you actually can't back it. They closed the campaign down. So it's closed. So you won't be able to get that yet. I will have some copies that I may or may not sell on my web store. Let's see. You never gave me David Furr's info, so I said, F it. I'm brute forcing that script myself. Man, I'm sorry, Roland. You remind me on stream, and I just forget about it immediately. I could look it up. This is going to make for a bad stream, but David Furr, there he is. I promised I would do this. Here we go. I have his email address. Now I need to find your email address. Roland, there you are. I found you. Okay, we're getting this done right now. There you are. Subject. Paste it. I'm going to put David in the subject line. Sent. I did it. There we go. Made for a little bit of a boring moment there on the stream, but you have it now, Roland. I'm really sorry. I had every intention of sending to you like 3 or 4 times there, and I just didn't. So apologies. Let's do it live. Yeah, why not? Now it is done. You should have that in your email. And as I said that, I just got another backer on Downcast 3. So thank you to whoever did that. That's pretty funny. There we go. We're getting even closer to 44,000. Feels good. FATL, and I want to talk about Downcast. There's some more updates with that. Actually, feels like a lot. But we'll get to that. So FATL is 97,499. I think that's up to date. Yeah, it is. So that it's insane thinking about this going to 100K. I've just talked to Charlie a few days ago, and he's working on it. I'll admit I'm pretty disappointed with how the speed has turned out with FATL. I don't know how else to say it, but it's not in my control, and it's been in and out of Charlie's control, and more out than in. And so it feels bad. I wish this wasn't late, but all we can do is continue working on it. Somebody asked, like, when's the ship date? I want a new ship date. And I tried that, and then things right now are just too touch and go. If the line art was done, I think I could give you an accurate ship date. It'd be close, but the line art's not done. And right now, the way that things are with Charlie, I don't want to give a ship date and then be wrong yet again. I've already done that 3 times and been wrong. And so we're just going to keep going. I'm going to keep updating everybody. So hope that's okay. But that's where we're at with FATL. I can't wait to get the book out. Honestly, I'm really, really excited about it. He's been showing me new art, and I'm going to start trickling out more and more of it, even though I wanted to save it for when people got the book. But I don't know. I think it's important that people see updates, because if you don't see it, you think nothing's happening. And so I'm going to start spilling more art. I think it just has to happen. Let's see. The cancer situation notwithstanding, was the initial estimate of November 2022 soon? So if the initial estimate was actually February 2021, but Charlie told me he thought it would be done in November. So I said, well, I'm going to put February and we'll go from there. Was it too soon? Yes, it was too soon. I should have known better, because this is not my first rodeo, that many things could go wrong, and that the art process would probably not go as quickly as Charlie said it could. This was Charlie's first campaign. And so, and that's, again, like you say, the cancer situation notwithstanding. the cancer situation was everything. But even beyond that, I think that it was too soon, especially because the book wasn't finished ahead of time. So it is what it is. I'm trying to be transparent about it, but we are working on it. And I've been bugging. It's to the point where I can say I'm bugging Charlie. I'm sure he's getting annoyed with me. $4.99, huh? Like a Narzac book, exactly. Man, I'm glad you have some distance between the CG stuff. I just can't handle all that BS. I honestly am not sure specifically what you're talking about. To me, I'm putting it in categories. There's just drama that happens anywhere in indie comics. I'm finding there is no corner that is immune from it, and it's weird. I don't know if it's a creative type thing. I don't personalities. I don't know, but it exists everywhere. So I don't know, but I don't know what it specifically is this time. But I actually named my stream today "No Comment" because here's the lesson I've learned. This is the most underutilized statement ever. It could solve you so many problems. Let's say somebody talks trash about you on a live stream. All you have to do is say "no comment." Uh, you can say "no comment," and next week everyone has forgot about it virtually. It would save everyone so much trouble if you just thought about it for a moment and said, do I have to comment? No, I really don't. No comment. Sometimes you do, I get it. But most of the time you really don't. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. So I don't know. People should use it more. Usually it's pride. It could be a number of things, but like the temptation is to fire back, you know, hey, somebody said something about me, I'm going to say something back. No, take a moment and pause and say this: no comment. It'll save you so much trouble. It's funny because one of the reasons why people are so upset, with the comic book industry, rightly so, is that most comic book creators have to weigh in on literally everything. They have to weigh in whenever there's, anything in the news, politics, nothing is off limits. Comic creators will weigh in. I think of like the whole Jay Lee situation. Tom King had to weigh in when really the answer is no comment, because it doesn't, it's up to the fans. That's what it comes down to. Sci-fi for me says never feed the trolls. Totally right. And I've not been perfect at it, but I think most people want to just do their thing. That's what they want to do. They just want to make comics. And I don't know. So that's what it is. There's my little spiel on that. Samuel Sierra. Tony Khan, owner of AEW, when asked about CM Punk, and okay, so CM Punk was a fighter, right? Do I have this right? And Bryan Danielson signing with the company, no comment. I don't know that situation, but I think CM Punk was a fighter. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, I love seeing like new names in here. I don't see that often. So Biff Bam Boom Comics, what's up? C Bunny's here. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. No comment. Sometimes you just have to say no comment. But if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Okay, so I discovered this channel. It shouldn't really be much of a discovery because this is, the channel, this video here has practically 5 million views on it just for this one video. But if you're interested in story, and I've been making those videos, I'm going to continue my series on how to write comics. Storytelling is essentially the same everywhere. It's just the mechanics and the tools that you have are a little bit different, but storytelling is the same. This channel, Filmento, is fantastic. And I keep thinking, this guy, he breaks down movies and what went wrong with them. And at first, it's kind of like, how this guy's a little full of himself, surely. But as he explains his perspective, he's right. I've binged several of these videos. He's right. He's so good at breaking down a story and sort of doing a post-mortem and figuring out where it fell. So I would recommend this channel if you're interested. It's Filmento. He did one on Charlie's Angels and how gender obsession can ruin a film. And the interesting thing about it is he sidesteps the whole argument about gender in the first place. So he's not saying he's anti-feminist, because immediately that's like, hey, we're against each other. He says your messages might be great. Thumbs up. That's awesome. We're past that now. We're just gonna get to the storytelling. And I'm glad he does that, because I actually think that's the problem. I think that's the issue that we're having in comics, but elsewhere in storytelling, is that you can look at you instead of a story being about storytelling, it's about a social message. And so if you get past the social message and you say, sure, your social message may be great. I think everyone agrees it's a good social message. Oh, okay. Now there's no conflict. Now let's talk about how you have applied that to the story. And what you have done is a travesty. It's just terrible. Anyway, he does a fantastic job, so I highly recommend it. And I'm going to be applying some of this stuff into my next script as well, thinking about Dracula. Question: how do you find a good reason or motivation to make a hero fight a villain? That could be a number of things, but motivation is a big part of it. Now, the problem that I see that comes up a lot, and I know I've had in the past, especially starting out, is having motivation for your protagonist but not your antagonist. But everybody has motivation, so you got to have motivation. But I think there's clearly a conflict, so you have to have some kind of conflict, and the motivations have to cross somewhere. And it's even better if your protagonist is the one taking an action that is getting in the way of the antagonist, versus the other way around. If your protagonist is doing something based off of his motivation and it causes the conflict, that's better. That's great, because they're doing it, the conflict's happening for presumably good reasons, because your protagonist is doing it. Vague, but yeah, I love talking about writing. C Money says no comment. Yeah. Let's see. If you enjoy Filmento, try EFAP, right? I want to say that right? And Mahler's 3-part 9-hour plus The Last Jedi critique. All right. I'm down. I think I've had my fill of The Last Jedi. However, thinking of it just from a story perspective, that has been actually really interesting. I'm super getting into this kind of stuff. Let's see. Have a proactive protagonist. Many heroes are written strictly as reactionary to the active villains. Kyung Lee's exactly right. And that, again, this guy's channel, he talks about that concept a lot. You can even think, if we're talking about like the Last Jedi, Rey just is. She's following the plot rather than initiating the plot. That's important. Like, if you can have a character making decisions that cause events, that's so much better than just having events happen to your character. And there's a lot of examples of that happening. Kyung Lee knows what he's talking about. Love that. What is your favorite Fast and Furious picture, and why is it Fast 5? Here's a controversy for you. I have not seen a single Fast and Furious movie. I don't know why. My little brother loves them. I apparently he's seen, I think, all of them. I haven't seen a single one. I think you have to start at number 1 first. When did that movie come out? I just haven't. I don't know why. Not intentionally. No problem. I love the writing questions. They help me learn. Rebel Commando is here. Hello. K Manifestos dropping links. Appreciate it. Oh, cool. I'm caught up. Anyway, so check out Filmento. Highly recommend it, especially if you're a writer, probably for anybody, but especially if you're a writer. I'm really finding a very useful tips from this, just from a critical perspective. However, he does have videos. Like, first you think, well, it's really easy to pick apart a movie and what it did wrong, but he actually has a lot of videos on what went right. I think if I go back here, you can see. I'm gonna pause that. Yeah, like here he's saying this one's perfect. I've not watched that video yet. He has one, yeah, how to build the ultimate movie scene, and he'll actually tell you what works and why it works. And the why is so important because there are things you could actually apply to any story. So yeah, really good stuff. He had one with Spider-Man, like from Spider-Man 2 back in the early 2000s, and he talked about how Spider-Man 2 made such a great protagonist that moved the story along. So I thought that was good. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about Downcast for a minute here. Did you know that Downcast 2, specifically the cover that Matt Weldon did, actually won an award for printing? I learned that maybe a couple months ago. I asked for confirmation today because I was reminded about it. Where is this? I want to brag about it. And so I'm finding out from the printer, but apparently with how the book was put together, the foil stamp, the UV gloss, in just particular the application of all of the components, it won an award, which is wild when I think about it. So I want to get more details on that, and I want to brag about it. But it's cool to see that, like these pieces. So I took definitely some of the things and I tried to up the ante on Downcast 3. And if you're interested, I can show you here. Let me just hold on. Let me pull it up. But the way that you do it, you might find this interesting, is you have to make layers. So hold on. We're going to go to Downcast 3. We're going to go to prepress. We're going to go to print files, and I'm going to pull these over here. Okay. So if you're interested, the way that it works is you have to have separate files for everything. So let's look at cover B. We'll open that up. Cover B is going to look like this. I went through, got all the measurements correctly. It looks how it's supposed to look, but the logo here is white. This is where we've had a few misprints and that there's no foil stamp. So it's just white. That's all you get. Then on top of that, you add the UV gloss. UV gloss has a separate layer and you make it black like this. So because this layer is black, now what we have is it'll tell the machine basically when it's printing off the UV material. I don't know exactly what it's made out of, but it's this glossy substance. My understanding is they print it on and then they pass it under a UV light, and the UV light turns that ink, whatever this special ink is, into a glossy substance that's totally see-through. So that's what you get, right? So I print it off. I just add black where I want this special ink to be printed. So there you go. There's that. And then the foil stamp is a separate layer. So for each logo or for each cover, you have 3 different layers. This is how I've been doing it. You have 3 different layers, and together they make what is an award-winning cover, apparently. So let's see, this foil stamp I have selected. Oh my goodness, did I move them? Hold on one second. All right, so I have them chosen. It's a blue and a gold. So let's go back to cover B. So here's the cover, and this, to make it even more difficult, Matt Weldon drew these characters pretty high up. So what I did is have Joanne overlapping the logo. So the logo is going to be behind her head. We've seen that lots of times in comics. It looks great. But it presented a problem because I actually have to make a foil stamp that looks like this so it fits around her head. And then I have to make another foil stamp that's the regular logo because on Eric's cover, it doesn't do this. So it's costing more. But again, I think it'll be worth it because it's going to look great with these pieces together. So for the foil stamp on this cover, I have this light blue color. Can you see that? The gloss won't do it justice, so don't panic. But it looks great when I put it down on paper and see it in person. It actually goes well with this blue smoke that's coming out from behind the Monstro here. And so I think it'll make it pop. It sticks out from the blue. So I think that's, or excuse me, from the green in the background. So I think this blue is going to look fantastic. Then for Eric's cover, I should pull that one up as well. So that'll be cover A. I hope this is mildly interesting. I don't know. At least I'm updating people. That's the goal here. So I'm going to go with a gold. It's going to be a different gold. There's millions of shades of gold, but this one is going to be a little different than, again, that camera is not going to do it justice, but it'll look a little different from what the reprint is also going to have gold, but it'll be a slightly different gold. Then, yeah, which I think will look great because we have these sort of glowing sections here. So it'll kind of tie it in. I like the color scheme. UV gloss on this one is going to be a little different. We went a little wild, and it might look it might look strange at first. It's loading. There's the UV gloss, so it's actually tracing the colors. So we have Joanne back here, and she's like bursting. You can see she's throwing these still balls, and there's, in the light that Kelsey Shannon did, there's sort of lighter sections and darker sections, so it kind of makes a sunburst effect. That's going to be more pronounced now because this is how we're doing the UV gloss. So it's different. Normally, I would just highlight a character, but in this case, we're going to try it like this, and I think it's going to look pretty cool. So yeah, Joseph, my contact at the printer, says he thinks that they're going to look great. So we're going for it, and why not? I mean, I'm all stoked at the fact that we won an award, so I want to do it again. Let's see. How long does it take to select a cover? You mean like the cover we're going to do, or selecting the sections, like in Photoshop? So for a cover, I just pick a cover artist and I ask them if they're available. And I'll usually try to pick cover artists that seem to match the style. And the goal here is, no, like, full disclosure, is you want to have cover artists that can kind of compete so that people want both of them. And so that's sort of the goal here. So I actually love the pairing of Matt Weldon and Eric Weathers because they both look like great covers. They're on par. So yeah, I essentially I'm just selecting the artist first. So hope that answers your question. Let's see. Oh, you guys are talking about Fast and Furious. I do know Paul Walker was in it. Let's see. Fast and Furious, great. How long did it take to select the cover? This cover, as opposed to Downcast 1 and 2. This was faster just because I know people. That's all that it comes down to. Yeah, I mean, it didn't take long at all. It's just about asking people and if they're available. Selecting the UV areas, though, like the spot gloss sections, can be a pain in the butt, and it took more time this time because I was more detailed with it. Enjoying another Clint Stream Comicsgate for the win. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Is the UV outline a vector? So I actually did it in Photoshop, and that works. This time around, the printer said it would be even better if it was a vector. And so he actually went ahead and converted it for me in Illustrator. I could have done that. It's essentially the same. I'm just more comfortable with Photoshop, but it works both ways. Vector's nice, though you're not scaling it up. So I don't know that vectors, it's not necessary, clearly, because I've done it before with Photoshop twice now. But yeah, vector's great. It's just nice, crisp lines. Yes. Yeah. Back the new readers bundle. Thank you. Hey, Danger Vanessa. Hello. Let's see. Ronnie, I love that their names I'm not seeing often in here. Some names I see a lot, but maybe it's because the random time I'm streaming. No comment, I comment. I love it. let's see. I feel like Clint pushes it further with every book. Respect, homie. Thank you. I'm trying. And we actually, like, as I look through this print file, this is not a short book. And it's 80 pages versus 88 pages. We're using a thinner paper stock. So when you get the book, it's going to feel like it is a smaller book. But the reality is it's actually longer. You're getting more actual comic story content. So I like that. I like this format. What I don't like is that it takes a year between books, because I shipped out Downcast 2, I think it was July last year. So it's been just barely over a year. I'm hoping that this will go through the printer pretty quickly, because I've already been sort of saving a place in line with the reprint that's been at the printer now for over a month, well over a month. And so they said they're going to print them together so that they can ship them together. It'll save me some money on freight. But yeah, so here's we have all the thank you page. This is set in it's set in stone now. That this is just for people that backed the VIP tier that wanted to be on. I'm always surprised at how many people don't want to have their name on. I get it. It makes sense. But yeah, good stuff. Anyway, but yeah, you go through this and it's just, this is story content. I have some page breaks. I don't want to spoil things. Let me see. Page breaks. You just sort of need filler pages. And this worked because this was part of the logo that Eric Weathers designed for the Monstro backup story. I'll be honest, guys, I really want to do a Monstro like mini series kind of thing, just his own book. I think it would be so fun. I already have a story for it. I'm just dying to do. And so Eric did a logo for me. It looks great. Again, I can scroll down and show that to you. But we'll see. I want people to read the book first. So I want to get ahead of myself. So, yeah, C Money says, I love the paper stock on Downcast 1 and 2. It was damn near card stock, but it was a bit overkill. It was so thick. The more that I looked at it, I just don't think I actually like it that thick, but it did say prestige. So I'm actually bumping it down to 80 pound. That was 100-pound paper stock. 100-pound. It was so thick. So this is actually pulling back, and so it's not going to be quite as thick, but it's still 80-pound paper stock is thick. So it's going to seem a little bit thinner, but the pages will be easier to turn. We're doing the Smythe Zone binding. That's how the spine is going to be, which is great. So you'll be able to open it wider. In theory, you can lay the book down on a table. The reality is you have to sort of break in the spine just a little bit, kind of like you would do with a hardcover if any of you are into collecting omnibuses. Omnibuy? How do you say that? An omnibus? Mini omnibus? So you would actually want to stretch that spine a little bit, but it should lay flat. Some examples were Monster MD was printed with the Smythe Zone binding, as well as the She books. I think both She books so far have had Smythe Zone bindings. So it is nice because you can just open it wider. It's kind of the best of both worlds. That's normally what I love about floppies, that you can just lay it out on a table. But in this case, it's like a trade paperback. Again, in theory, you kind of have to stretch the spine a little. But yes, should be thick paper. Should be really nice. I want to win another award. That's what this is about. Clint, do you believe in the notion that Bush had enough prior knowledge to possibly prevent 9/11? I honestly have not really gone through the evidence. Not really. So I'm not sure. The stuff I have seen, I don't know if you could draw it back to George Bush, but the fact that the pilots had gone to pilot school and weren't learning how to land. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been there, but that seems pretty sus, as the kids say. Let's see. I know Rice basically talking about production issues led to his Downcast series. That's what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm confusing anybody. Why the mystery? I don't know. I'm just catching up. Let's see. Nice job, by the way. More inclined to back a book if delivery is a couple of months away. Delivery is it's very soon. So it's really waiting on the printer. So here's what I'm waiting on. I need 4 pages of color correction on the backup story. That's it. And Damien is doing the coloring on my art for the backup story. So he's really quick. He's already had the pages. And so I expect those colors to be in like any minute, any day, any minute. It could be the next day or two. As soon as I have those, right here you can see I have the pre-press finished. Like everything else is ready to go. Where's my, I want to scroll down with, there we go. So I don't want to show off too much there. Here's that logo that Eric Weathers designed. There you go. So yeah, I took this section here to add to some of those fillers. But yeah, it's ready to go. These are the pages I need to pop into InDesign. And now I'm beginning to be a pro. I don't want to say pro. I'm a veteran when it comes to pre-press. So I've got all of this set up, I think exactly how I want it to be. I'm always amazed at all the little things that come up. But I'm sending this off to the printer. The covers are already finished. The printer's looked at them. So potentially this could go to the printer tomorrow. That's a possibility. It could go by Friday. I don't expect it to be much longer than that, honestly. It'll go to the printer. The proofing process takes another day or two if I spot an error. And then that's it. And then we're in the fate of the printer, which can be terrifying. But again, I've been holding the place with the other one, so I'm pretty excited about it. I'm glad you like that cover. Yeah, just the backup story. It's actually a trading card, but I did the version that I colored, so I did the colors on this one. I'm not gonna, I'm self-aware enough to know that it's not the greatest art in the world, but it was a lot of fun to make, and it's that personal touch that I think people like, especially in these crowdfunded ones. This isn't going to be other places either. It's like for the crowdfunding project. Like it's not going to be printed in Alterna books. It's its own thing. If I do a Monstro story in and of itself, I will hire an artist to do it. And I already know there are a few artists that are interested, but I've got to see how people think about it. Also, Udon started the double spine books for their hardcovers recently. Double spine books have a gap, so the pages can be seen in full. Okay, so I know on most books, it's just they have the eye in the spine. Like if you're looking at an omnibus and you lay it open, it has that eye that forms, I think they call it. And that'll help you to really see into the gutter. You can see right in there. But you have to look into that double spine books. Could be cool. Very cool. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. I can't wait to get it to printer. And that's where we're at. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Talked about the covers, talked about the interior, talked about the campaign. How long is the campaign going to be up? That's probably the next question that comes up. I'm going to leave it up as long as it makes sense. So the fact that I'm fulfilling the campaign, it's going to draw people to it, and they're going to be backing it. That has been my experience. And so I'm going to leave it open, through fulfillment. That way you'll be able to pick it up if you're really waiting last minute. But if you are waiting, I don't know, I guess you could wait a few weeks, a month, or you could do it now. It's all the same to me, honestly. It doesn't really make a difference. We're already moving. So, but yeah, I'd love you to back it. I'm really excited for people to read this. Very reminiscent of the cover for the first BioShock game. I've got to look at the cover of it, but yeah, the BioShock, I have been informed, is very similar. BioShock cover, is that what I'm looking up? This is it. Yeah, I'll be honest. If I knew that there was a video game that had an underwater diver, although he's designed quite differently than the Monstro is designed, but if I had known this, and I had known that the second BioShock, apparently they go to a flying city, I don't know that I would have used a diver character, because those are two strikes. Like, that's too similar. But I've never played BioShock. I did not know. So I guess it is what it is. The chances of the actual content of the story being similar, though, there's no way. I do have to play the game, though. You're also supposed to say no comment to the 9/11 question. Now this video will be buried. Oh man, I fell for that one. Let's get Clint to contradict the CDC mask guidelines. This video will be banished. Oh yeah. So I heard if you are encouraging pregnant women to get vaccinated, that you will be favored in the algorithm, according to Twitter. So I don't know. Does that matter? I was actually in a public location today, not wearing a mask, and I looked around, and everybody was wearing a mask. I couldn't believe it because it's been months now of nobody wearing masks, and then everybody was wearing a mask, and I'm not going to do it. I don't care. I felt the peer pressure though, but I didn't do it. I stuck to my guns. I just don't want to. If you want to, that's cool, but whatever. I'm not going to. Eric Weathers is here. Hello, Eric. Appreciate you. Eric has killed it on lettering. I want to show off some of the lettering he's done, but like the stuff I want to show off is spoiler pages. So I'm not going to. I'm going to refrain. I'll wait a little bit. 31 viewers, 31 likes. Nice. That is rare to happen. Doesn't happen often. So I appreciate everybody. Yeah, I'm vaccinated. If I feel sick, then I'll wear a mask. Otherwise, nah. Yeah, I'm at the point where it's like, yeah, I'm not afraid. So I should be good. They were offering masks at the Walmart I went to today. Everyone in front of me took one, and I was like, I'm good. Yeah, we actually have a state law here saying you cannot mandate people to wear masks, at least in higher ed and elementary school. But so now they're just resorting to peer pressure. Like that's what they're doing instead of mandating it because they can't. But they would. I guarantee they would. I can't do it, guys. I cannot do it. I'm done. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so as far as the YouTube channel goes, that's the last kind of update I want to touch on. It has been underlined yet again that the most important thing you can do if you're creating comics is to have an outlet to speak directly to your audience. Part of your marketing plan being anybody else, any other creator, is a bad idea. I've said this for years, and every time I say it, it's like people act like it's the first time. It always should be your plan to market it yourself. Now, do you need other people? Of course. You need ultimately backers. You need readers that are going to support your project. But you can't rely on other creators to get you to those readers. This is so important. So as I look at that kind of stuff, I think I really need to be growing my channel more so. So I don't know. I've again full circle here, looking at Filmento, the way that he goes over and edits his videos, he makes them entertaining, but they're also very insightful, and it's also really focused on storytelling. I like that. I'd love to do something like that and just sort of up the production value. But I'll be honest, it's more important on YouTube to be frequent than it is to be to have well edited content. That sounds silly, but it's just true. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, so I do want to put some more effort into the channel. Obviously, I have to get through fulfillment here first, and ultimately, my goal is to be a comic book creator. YouTube is just the mechanism that makes that possible. Delacy, I was going to tell a friend about Downcast, but Clint said he wanted to go it alone, so I didn't. Totally, you know what I mean. This is where I see all the problems come in, is if you launch a campaign and you're like, hey, my plans were that X, Y, and Z were gonna take me over the finish line, or it always goes bad, always. So I do appreciate everybody that helps promote it. Clint, do you agree that having a child vaccinated increases the risk of developing autism despite it being a genetic condition? Oh my. This is exactly the moment when the no comment name would come in. There we go. So I really don't want to talk about that. Go away, Dracula. Cool. All right. So yeah, that's the plan. And any other questions about progress or anything? Let me know now. I'm really happy to answer any questions specifically about comics. That would be my favorite thing here. Went from comics to COVID. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, we're covering about everything today. Politics, whatever it comes down to. Thank you, Ronnie, for the good job. I appreciate that. No commies. I will have a comment on that. Yeah, no commies. Can jet fuel melt steel beams? I have no idea. Is that another 9/11 question? I have no clue. I have no idea. Apparently, there was a professor here at BYU that did some research on that. I don't know the findings, but maybe I'll look into it. Other than that, no comment. That's the plan. Hey, I'm getting more backers too for Downcast, so appreciate people that are backing. It kind of makes me think that if I had a, there we go. We're over 44,000. Thank you so much, everybody. Makes me think that instead of, let's imagine this for a moment. You make a YouTube video every day so that you can be in touch with people and be producing. If you were making a comic book and turning it out, I don't know what rate, honestly. Something that made sense, something that you could do a quality book in, but you're talking multiple times a year. I have to imagine you'd get some success just from that, from making comics and putting them out. Because a lot of people aren't interested in backing comics until they're ready to ship. And I get that. Here's a great question. Clint, should YouTubers respect Chris Chan's pronouns even after he claimed to do the I haven't really followed this much, but I disavow everything that has happened that I've heard about. That's all I can say. Will you do any conventions? Yes, I will. So I actually applied to what they used to call it Salt Lake Comic Con, but it's the Fan X. I applied for it and I was kind of late. So they actually put me on a waiting list for Artist Alley. They did say, however, that if I wanted to, I could pay twice the price and get a dealer's booth, which is presumably a little bit bigger. But the point of a dealer's booth is that you're selling any and all merchandise as opposed to just artwork and books. So Artist Alley is just for artwork, books, like two-dimensional objects. Books count as two-dimensional. If you have one of the bigger booths, it costs twice as much, but you can sell essentially whatever you want. So I could get one of those bigger booths if I want to pay more, but it's just, I don't know if I can do it. It costs too much. I don't know if I could. What would be great though is to get a bunch of people to pool in together, but we're talking, this thing's a month away, so it's kind of short notice. So I will do one for sure. I'm just not, I don't think it'll be Salt Lake Fan X, whatever they're calling it, just because I think it's too late. I am on the waiting list, however. I'll let you know if it changes. Most MegaCon guests canceled. I'm still going, trying to stay positive. Did they cancel it? So guests canceled, but it could be open. Thanks. Thank you, Eric. Teasing the lettering works. Not gods. That line is in the book too, or that phrase right there. Not, it's spelled differently, but it is in the book, and I think people will get a kick out of that. It's a meme from the conspiracy people. The heat generated from jet fuel can melt steel, but not the fuel alone. Okay, all right. Oh gosh, I don't even. I'm not even going to repeat any of the Chris Chan stuff. Do like Comic Perch does and record a bunch of videos and load them up on a schedule. I could do that. I have done that when I've gone on vacation. It's hard to be timely, but you don't have to be timely. That's the thing. Not a bad idea. Professor Murph says no comment. I respect anybody who doesn't ask for respect. Fair enough. When it comes to YouTube, Shane mentioned something during a stream about finding a niche of something else. If you don't like the culture war stuff, thoughts on this type of video you should upload. Absolutely. Yeah. If you think about any like major YouTuber that has been or is or whatever, anywhere surrounding Comicsgate, the most successful guys are doing content that's related to something else. It's not just comics. There are very few channels that are just comics, and the ones that aren't really growing. So for what it's worth, comics is just such a small niche. But the thing is, I want to talk about comics, or it, to be reasonable that I'm related to comics, but I don't know. So finding that right kind of niche is a good idea, but it would definitely take a little bit of effort. So I'm thinking about that kind of stuff though. I'm at MegaCon this weekend, booth 178. That's Professor Murph. So a lot of people canceled, but it's still going on. Sup, gangsters. Don't do it, Sweetcast. I'm assuming that's about a convention. I don't know. Was Pearl Harbor an inside job? No comment. I'm practicing. We're doing regular updates on Comic-Con schedules, Vax and Mask Rules, etc. That's really good sci-fi for me TV, because it's hard to know what's happening where and what if events are actually going to go down. So they're happening because I've been seeing pictures and videos from various conventions, but there are definitely going to be some that just won't be. So glad to see that. I will say this PC bullcrap happened because the smartphone era. Pre-smartphones, everyone thought of the internet as for losers and nerds. After it became popular, they tried to take over. Yeah, honestly, the more I think about it, the whole Twitter culture. I wasn't on Twitter before, but when I got onto Twitter some 3 years ago, that is exactly when I realized that that's how people are acting. But in real life, they carry over the culture to the workplace, and that's what makes it so terrible. So I agree. I wonder if there's going to be a revolt and people will stop being so plugged into the internet. I can feel it. Like for me personally, it sounds kind of nice. Not God's my new cross stitch channel. It's pretty good. I want to attend this BarCon I keep hearing about on Twitter. BarCon, never heard of it. Scheduling videos do as well. Okay. That's a very good. Downcast 3 is the poop emoji. Back it. That's a positive thing, everyone. Very cool. I'd love to see CG channels that cover board games too. That would be interesting. I like board games. I don't know that I could play them enough to be like really, really on top of it, but I don't know. That could be a good thing for sure. I'd actually love to see more board games and card games and things like that coming out from CG IP. That would be cool. Snuggy Jr. says, I'm your 4th biggest fan. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, doing that in a few months. I don't know if I'm so behind on all these. Professor Murph, this book looks great. Movies get way more clicks than comics. See, this is it too. You could talk about you could talk about film, and then just slip in that, by the way, I write comics. If you like film, to me, there's a logical connection there. You're really into storytelling in film. You could be talked into picking up a comic book. That could be a direction I want to go, but it would be, again, like this, like breaking down storytelling. The question is, how do you do it so you can post it at a regular pace, seeming high production enough, but not, but still be able to post it regularly. You guys are all talking, love it. I just wish YouTubers were more aware of them firing up a stream with nothing to say. Is that me? There's a lot of that for sure. I haven't streamed in a long time though, so it's kind of just nice to catch up to people. 51 people watching too. by the way. Thank you very much. I just gave updates for anyone that's new, updates on Downcast, updates on FATL, updates on, I don't know, it's just a pre-press process. So if you're interested in watching that, I would just rewind and catch it earlier. I can't go over it all again, I think. Okay, this could be more no comment stuff, that's for sure. What are your thoughts on Hitler too becoming the king of Brazil? No comment. See, it works, guys. This is the best. Normies became radicalized by internet culture. Absolutely. And the thing is, there's like this gaslighting effect. I don't think people realize how extreme it is. There was, I don't know if I can say this. There was literally somebody at work that was asking about pronouns out loud, like, what are your pronouns kind of thing. And I avoided the situation by closing a door. But the thing is, it's like, I don't want to pretend like it's a normal question to ask. It's weird. Like it's come to such an extreme. But the thing is, most people are polite. Twitter is terrible. I agree. I still think getting rid of Twitter, I don't think that there'd be a super downside to it. I think it would only be positive. I could just get email addresses for anyone I want to be in touch with. I don't know. Steve Jobs doomed the world with the release of the iPhone in 2007. Yeah, there's something to it. There's got to be a revolt. I'm gonna try and catch up here. So there won't be a social media exodus. All the kids playing Minecraft and Roblox will have their own accounts soon. That's terrifying. Maybe it'll move to something else though. Where's my gravity booklet? It's coming. Again, here's the pre-press file. This is at the end of it. This is the pre-press file. And InDesign, down to the title page, the credit page, we have everything. I always, when I do this too, I think, where am I going to sign it? I'm going to sign it right here, or perhaps right here. Something like that. It'll be signed right in one of those places. I cannot wait for you all to get this book. I'm going to just say no comment to this. Those are cucumbers. The iPhone and following smartphones was like a blessing in some regards. The mid 1900s, they were pretty much the micro supercomputers of science fiction writing. Yeah, what was it? The movie The Incredibles. You know, in The Incredibles, he basically has an iPad that he got, and then I realized that iPads didn't exist, nor did smartphones. It's like 2004 or something like that. Maybe it's 2005. I don't know exactly when that movie came out, but iPads didn't exist. They were imagined there. It looked just like an iPad. Yeah. Let's see. Took me a few to catch up. Please, no more on Chris Chan. Drop the 9/11 conspiracy chatter. Do we really have to talk about C-19 and masks? Let's talk about saltiness of your boy in regards to SJWs. We can always talk about that too. I still, guys, I really like to watch you boys' videos. I don't catch them all because he uploads so often, but he has a way with it. No, I like Clint Solo. If someone asking for help, yeah, I sometimes I just want to talk. It is all. I like Eric's been doing this stream on Tuesday nights. I've been enjoying going on to that stream and talking, and I don't have to guide the conversation. I can just go. When I stream on my own channel, for the most part, it's just nice to talk. Too early to say what you're working on next. Well, so FATL, I'm always going to say FATL first because everything I can do with FATL, I'm going to be doing. Again, it's in Charlie's lap right now, so he's working on it. I'm working on it as well as I can, but I'm definitely restricted by the pace that he can get pages done. However, I'm also writing Dracula, so I'm gonna make it awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So that's the next book is Dracula. I've already talked to the artist. I'm not gonna make an announcement yet. I'd rather announce it when there's art to show. But the artist is still on board, and the plan is this fall he's going to start on it. He's a man. I'll give you that much. So yeah, that's going to happen next. I'd love to get started on Downcast 4 as well, but I'm not going to have enough money to start all these projects. So that's just the reality of it. 51 watching and only 44 likes. Give Clint that thumbs up. It helps the algorithm find more CGers for the stream. Yeah, you never know. You catch people. There's 52 people. Do you like it when I just go through the comments? False profiteer. Okay, no comment. Point of personal privilege. I use pronouns. I like that. I've thought, like, use my name. If pronouns are for me, can I choose not to say them? And if we all are having to announce our pronouns all the time, aren't there going to be people that are questioning or on the fence or something, and then they're forced to come out of the closet using their own logic? It doesn't make sense. Like, just let me be. I don't care what you do. Just let me be. Very cool. Did I get a super chat? I'm really behind the comment. See, this is when I read comments. You guys comment like crazy. I'm not gonna be able to keep up on this. All right, here we go. Super chat from Ryan Cardinal, Canadian $5. Thank you so much. Says congrats on FATL and Downcast 3. Just letting everyone know that Caius is launching September 7th. Fully animated trailer dropping soon. Very cool. I think you did really well in the first one, if I remember correctly. So congrats, Ryan. That's great news. Good luck on promotion. I think that's a big one, but you're doing, I think, the right stuff. You're sticking to it. Fatal first. That should be Charlie's motto. Yes. We're working on it. So how long will Dracula be? The script is not written yet. I had a couple false starts and decided to change things. We will see. I actually have 2 Dracula stories I want to tell. And so the plan is to have a story and a backup story. I will not be drawing either of them, but that's to be determined. So I will let you know as soon as I know, but I'm currently in the outline process. It's just really slow going because I'm working on this stuff. Yeah, right, Dracula. With all these edgy memes, I might get targeted by Mama Susan now. You never know, man. Please tell me you read the book first. Are you talking about Dracula? I read Dracula a long time ago, but I have refreshed my memory. It's not going to be a retelling of Dracula. It's just been done too many times. It's going to be different. The 2 story ideas I want to do, one would be sort of an origin for Dracula, a possible origin, and the other one is a modern day Dracula. So it's more set in a timeline that nobody knows who Dracula is. He's just a different person. But if he existed today, I have a really an idea that really excites me about that. But again, I'm outline phase right now. It's not. I murdered my darlings, from where I started, and I think it'll be for the best. Is Dracula a one-off or an ongoing series? I think the plan is to do a one-off, but I'm always open. It depends. This will be a definitive. Like, I'm not going to leave it with a cliffhanger. I have a particular horror story that I want to write with Dracula, so that is the plan. Do you have a full script and give it to the artist, or do you go Marvel method? So I usually write full scripts. Dracula's going to be full script. That's the plan. And a lot of that is because you just have so much control over the story elements. And when there's so much that can go wrong and so much that can go right, for the most part, I think that's my go-to. Fatal, however, I'm writing it Marvel method. And when I think it's okay to do that is when the artist is just a great storyteller, and Charlie Snogans is a great storyteller. So that's what it comes down to. So it just had to be a more collaborative effort to get his vision out there. And if you're seeing the art he's putting out, it's just amazing. So that is Marvel method, but generally speaking, I write full script. It's fun to do both, but yeah, Dracula's going to be a full script. Yes, it'll be Clint Stoker's Dracula. I'm glad you guys are excited about it. Grownouns, that's a new one. I was staying in the closet. That's what I want to say is, like, are you going to out me, sir? Do I have to tell you my pronoun or can I remain secret? Yeah, don't comment. Let's see. See if you are related to Vlad the Impaler as well. That would be great for marketing. Man, there's so many Dracula uh, people, descendants that milk that relationship. I saw another, this time it was a woman on Instagram. Someone forwarded it to me. I think it was Mike Murphy. And it was somebody saying, I'm related to Dracula. Therefore, I don't know what she was selling. It wasn't a book though. But yeah, I mean, people are milking it. So I'm going to be very openly exploiting it. That's the plan. But Vlad the Impaler, I will find out if I have any genealogical record. I doubt it, though. Your pronouns are impelled by your proper nouns. That's part of their job. That's why they're gendered. Yeah. Or implied. I thought you said impelled. That would have been even better. Yes. Yeah, I mean, my name is Clint. That should be enough. It's just weird how they build this fake. I don't know. It's weird. Vampire meets a girl at local high school. Definitely not going to be that. How many genders are there? There's 2. I'm not even going to say no comment there. There are 2 genders. This isn't rocket scientist. Do both. Both stories that I have. Yeah, I'm going to do both. That's the plan. I actually have artists lined up for both. Both. There is 1 gender. All right, that's deep. I murdered my darlings. It's a cool band name. I love that. Let's see. He says thanks. And again, congrats on what you and your teams have done. It's a great showcase as to how you can do this stuff and be successful at it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. There's a lot of people coming at this from nowhere. You're not established pros and you're making comics. It's cool to see. A lot of it's just being in tune with, hey, there's a market of people out here. That ultimately, there's a market of people out here that are just fed up and they want something new. I heard someone say that. Something different, something new. My pronouns are stop making pronouns for me. Serious, if I fully understand, you went through a lot of this, but this isn't going to help it. Yeah, that's the, yeah. It gets to like where you're getting into my business, you know. You should write a novel version of Dracula to go with the comic. I'll back both. That would take a considerable amount of time. Maybe a novella, like a short one. It takes me, I've written 2 novels now, and it takes me, the fastest one took me just over a year to write. And that was intense. Like I was writing every single day. I could do it though. You know, I've done it before. Let's see. Here we go. Aaron Olson for $1.99. Dude, pimp your subscription. No other comment. Thank you. Yeah, Aaron Olson so far is the only subscriber to the channel. You notice that is available. I'm not seeing this on YouTube, so you should have, he's got some kind of candy next to his name. You have to let me know what that is. Kyungli designed those for me. I wanted 8-bit looking Nintendo-y pixely candies. And so the more you're subscribed, the more you get you get different candies the longer you've been on. So appreciate you, Aaron Olson. If you subscribe, what you're essentially subscribing to, this is what most people want from me, but it's consultation, honestly. I can look at your campaign or your book or your script online. That's what I'd prefer. Like do it live so people can see. That would be fun, especially like if we're going over your campaign or something, or doing a post-mortem on a campaign, or looking at it before you launch or something like that. Stuff like that. But that's the goal. And I just get requests all the time for what I would consider consultation on your crowdfunding. And so I don't mind doing it, especially if it's a project I'm really stoked about. But at the same time, it's like I don't have time to do all this. But if you are a subscriber, then I think we can make some entertaining content with it and help you out. So thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. No comment. Let's see. You guys are moving. Just don't make Dracula sparkle. Dracula is going to be a creep. So I'm pretty excited about the direction. Are you guys? This has inspired me as well. I haven't really looked into that. What's that company where they had the youngest female CEO billionaire, and she had that company where they would draw a drop of blood and put it in this cartridge, and you could test for hundreds of different blood. It would do your blood work and hundreds of different things it could test for, including like AIDS and cancer and all this stuff. And it turns out the whole thing was a lie. I mean, this was big in the news. I heard about it, several years ago, but I didn't really look into it. And been looking into it a bit more. That is interesting and inspiring for Dracula, because you got blood in there, you have wealth, you have greed. I think some cool material. What other classic monsters beside Dracula be interested in doing? Actually, Frankenstein or the Invisible Man. Those were when I was in, let's see, like junior high aged. I loved all those kinds of books. Those were the things I would read and do papers on for school. So Invisible Man, Frankenstein. I think Frankenstein honestly is my favorite. So could be fun. Absolutely. How far along is Fatal? It's over halfway done. I'm not sure exactly where it is, because Charlie kind of will work on a page and then he'll kind of skip over to another page. And so I'm not sure what he has left. But I'm trying to quantify that. We had a discussion about this as well. If I have them all in one folder, then we have it down. But he still kinds of, he tweaks things. So he'll sketch something and then he'll move on to the next page. And part of it is just his process. So, but I'm going to be on it. That's for sure. I'd love to get Charlie on so you guys could ask him too. We've been around for 12 years, but we're going to be new for a lot of people who haven't heard of us yet. That's sci-fi for me. Really good channel, straight news reporting. Can't wait for FATL, although I think you're fat shaming Ethan. Wow, that's a jump. That means membership. Did I say something wrong? Membership. There you go. Another list of pronouns. I borrowed his Clint reading a bad script. Oh, fiddlesticks. Yeah. Couldn't hold out from backing Fatal anymore, even though shipping doubles the cost and I'm broke. AF. That is how amazing it looks. Can't wait. I can always eat the mailer for sustenance. Oof. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate you backing it. Yeah, the money is that's crowdfunded books for you. Shipping is getting ridiculous too. I just discovered that shipping to Canada costs $2 more than it did last year for me to ship to Canada. So that sucks. I'm going to eat that cost. I mean, you think it's not that many that you're shipping to Canada, but still, like it just messes things up. Let's see. Creepy Dracula. Awesome. Yes. Theranos. Thank you. That's the name of the company. And fascinating. That whole thing is fascinating. Yeah, it was a scam at such a high level, and everybody part of it was she's a woman. She's a successful, strong female CEO. And so the news media was willing to buy anything, like the most obvious questions and like vetting that the media should have done. And that company was in business for a long time, peddling the same stuff. And it got to like cult-like behavior behind the scenes. Kind of crazy. Yeah, Elizabeth, I can't remember her name. I'm so behind here. Let's see. Eric Weathers corrected me. It's a membership. Perfect. We're on the same page then. Let's see. I skipped your comment of it's just going too fast. I can't keep up with it. In all seriousness, I can't wait for both Downcast and Fatal. I've read the first 2 Downcasts and both were good. Thank you. Appreciate that. I think 3, I really think you're going to like it a lot. I'm stoked. I'm really excited about it. It'll be great. All right. I'm at the bottom here. Yes. She's the woman making fake test equipment. We got it. All right. Appreciate everybody for watching, for tuning into the stream tonight. hope the comments didn't get, I don't know if I'm just responding to comments, if that gets to be too much or not. But I wanted to give you all update, and I know I haven't been great at making videos this week, especially tomorrow. I haven't made a video yet, so we'll see if I post one. But I just thought it'd be good to get on a stream and just update everybody. So that's what's going on. I'm gonna get this to the printer, just waiting on Damien for those color corrections, and I think we're set. We've read through this a million times. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll get that to the printer. It's a US based printer, so turnaround time shouldn't be crazy. It only depends upon their workload and where I am in line to be printed based on the rest of their workload. So that's where we're at. Anyway, thanks so much. Appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next video or stream. Bye bye.